Year 4 of the Terrible Twos.
Hello and welcome to the Ontario Masters Championship Round 1. This is an exciting event we had recently at the culmination actually of the 2021 ITC season. So this is going to be Round 1 of, as I said, the Ontario Masters Championship, brought to you by the Season of War Premium members and our host here, Torchlight Games and Studios in Burlington, Ontario. So super excited to get into this. I'm Jordan. You probably have heard my voice. Joined tonight by Ridge. How you doing, Ridge?
I'm doing great, buddy. I think everyone knows my super loud voice. So yeah if it's any of the levels, anything's a bit too loud, let us know in the chat for sure.
Yeah, we're super excited tonight, guys. Obviously testing out a little bit of a different format and video style, but super excited for this. We're gonna have a lot of fun. Excited to do live commentary and be able to interact with everyone. Pumped for that.
Big time.
Yes. So as I said, the Ontario Masters was an 8-player event we held here in Ontario. Again, wrapping up the ITC season from 2021, ended at the end of January with LVO. But the Canadian ITC rankings only take into account the Canadian events. So here we're looking at the top 10 players from the ITC rankings. Now you'll see 2 players grayed out there. Both Kevin and Zach were unable to attend the event, so it meant that 2 other people got the opportunity to participate and have a shot at the Masters title for the year.
The big giant hammer.
Yeah. So a lot of familiar names, obviously for us. This is a lot of people from our local scene, and a lot of people from There's probably only 2 or 3 teams up there, a ton. We see obviously Yuri taking out the top spot. He last year was playing a ton of Dargants. Myself and Ridge, on the podium as well for the rankings. Ridge, you played a lot of Seraphon.
Yep, I definitely did.
Yeah, I was all over the place. Well, mostly Lumineth and Stormcast. Nick from the Rock Gang came in 4th. Played a lot of Deepkin this year. Matt, who we're seeing in this game right now, on the right side of your screen, playing a lot of Soulblight, Cities of Sigmar. Tonight and at the Ontario Masters, he did play Cities of Sigmar and Anvilgard, which is a little bit different.
Yeah, it was interesting seeing that. Yeah, I know he's played a bunch of Hallowheart and he loves Phoenix Guard. He's played a lot of different cities, so it's such a cool book to play. There's so much, there's so much to choose from.
So many units.
Yeah, my kind of army.
What else? So Kevin, again, isn't here or wasn't able to make Masters. Carl, obviously on the left side of your screen, he is playing Kruleboyz here. He played a ton of different armies throughout 2021. Everything from, there was a lot of, Nagash OBR at the start. He did a bunch of Ironjaws, Kruleboyz now. He's played a bunch of cities as well, so.
He played the Drake's Tempest Eye for a while.
Yeah, so he's been all over the place, but a lot of strong shooting is kind of what Carl's known for.
Carl is known to play 100 armies and then say, I'm just going to play 1 army this year. And then next thing you know, he's playing 5 different ones.
Yeah.
But we'll see if he holds to that this year.
Yeah. So those 2 are going toe-to-toe tonight, obviously. And coming in 8th for the ITC season was Zach, another teammate of ours, unfortunately also unable to make Masters, so didn't get to take a shot at the title. But with both him and Kevin missing out, it did mean Levon and Mitch were able to attend. Levon, similarly to Carl, played a bunch of different armies throughout the season, looking for the one that really stuck with him. lately, and of most significant note, probably is the success he's had with Soulblight, including a great run at LVO with all you guys down there, eh, Ridge?
Yeah, that was insane, man. Yeah, just running a million zombies. So it was crazy to watch him make top 8, and being there on Sunday was just awesome. Having beers with everyone, and yeah, I wish I could have got the 5-0, but had a tough one against some Stonehorns. Couldn't take them down. So a little heartbreak with the 4-1, but no, it was awesome to see. So at least, you know, someone in Canada in there.
Yep. And yeah, Mitch similarly has played a ton of armies throughout the 2021 season. He is a big chaos guy in our local scene. You know, played everything. I've played him this year with his Khorne. He's played Slanesh. Lately, he's been bait on the Nurgle train, which is what he's bringing to Masters. So
yeah, he ran a lot of the Blight King spam in AoS 2. But you're right, man. Even when every time I've kind of played him, he's always playing something new. He loves playing a lot. He's got maybe the most chaos models I've ever heard of in my entire life.
Oh, for sure.
Crazy.
Yeah, so 8 of the top 10 players from the Canadian ITC rankings, actually, which is exciting. But realistically, us in Ontario are the main province that uses ITC. We're trying, you know, I'd love to see other provinces get involved with, you know, out west in Quebec. We're trying to get them on the ITC train, and I think especially with the, you know, involvement of Games Workshop coming up, hopefully we'll see kind of a bigger involvement from other areas of the country, just so we can get, you know, true national representation.
Yeah, I think it's more events too, right? Like, there's so many good players everywhere, out west, out east, everywhere, but just they're not able to get to as many events, right? Like, it's nice to be able to go down to the States. I know out west you can sometimes go down to Seattle or some of those other places they have events, but yeah, it's just, I think it's more just getting out to events, because then you can actually accumulate some more ITC points. As Tristan's saying, PEI is full of ITC. So.
Awesome, yeah. I know they have a big flourishing scene out there, but no, I know Tristan's working hard to grow the community, which is awesome. I always want to shout out and support guys like that. So if you're looking out, you're in PEI and you're looking for some events, you definitely want to chase down King Tristan and find out what he's planning.
Yepper.
But so those are the rankings. We'll look at the round 1 matchups. Obviously, with 8 players, there's four matches, and only one of them tonight, obviously. But the first match was Yuri with his Sons of Behemoth getting paired up against you, Ridge.
Ooh.
Yeah, so that's always a big one. A common matchup, or, you know, between you guys, I feel like a lot of us see each other in the final tables and final rounds of events, and you and Yuri facing off is nothing new.
He's got my number, man. I've played him a couple times now in some of the events, and like one of our GTs here, he beat me in game 5, table 1, like the final. He's you know, he's a great player. Gargants are awesome. That game was a heartbreak. I left the Gargant on 1 wound and just committed to 2 units to take him down, and
you fully called it.
But not even fully. I didn't need to risk putting my dragons in. I was playing a Fangs with Dragons list that was really good, but the last turn 2 prio, lost turn 3 prio, and it was a handshake.
And then next matchup was myself. I paired up against Levon. I was playing my Stormcast Eternals as Lord Billy asks, not Lumineth at Masters. The past couple events I've been running Hammers of Sigmar and Stormcast, and this list that I took is actually the list I had planned to take to LVO before I had to cancel last minute due to family complications, just with little kiddos getting sick and whatnot, for the threat of it. But I again paired up against Levon, so it was the LVO list I had planned to take, and he was playing his Soulblight Gravelords, different list than he took to LVO, but featured a ton of zombies, so strong nonetheless. Yeah,
your list is just nuts, man. It's super strong, and those Fulminators just wreck. So it's like, yeah, I had a good feeling that you were gonna win, to be honest, just with that army.
I would have loved to see, obviously at LVO how I could have done, but here, with Masters and a couple other events coming up, definitely wanted to take the opportunity to see, I guess, how the list performed. Stormcast is still a somewhat new faction.
Yeah, very strong.
we'll get into that a little more. But obviously the feature match here tonight is Karl versus Matt. Karl with his Kruleboyz Big Yellows, and Matt playing Anvilgard Cities of Sigmar. And we'll get into the lists in a moment. Obviously our players are just, looks like, wrapping up deployment, or just wrapped up deployment. Karl winning the drop, actually, or the choice to drop first, which is significant, as we'll get into the list in a moment, and they were both 2-drop. But the last pairing, or the last match for the round 1 was Nick with his Ideneth Deepkin versus Mitch with his Megakin of Nurgle. So a couple of interesting matchups going on, but we'll loop back at the end and talk about how all the games went. But I guess we should jump into taking a look at lists quickly. Again, Karl did win the role to choose attacker defender and got to drop first with these two, both of these armies being 2 drops with double battle regiment. And Karl is actually using his super sneaky right now, as you can see, to redeploy the Mire Brute. Awesome ability just to move things. I know Karl in different games, and as we talked about actually on the weekend, there's some different tech with obviously the super sneaky. He's used it a bunch with the Hobgrots to screen out, but here, choosing to relocate the Mire Brute.
Yep, and it looks like he just rolled all 3 4-ups for his covered in mud. So yeah, it's so good, man. Being a 2-drop, especially in this scenario, that first roll off is massive. Yeah. So him winning that and being able to give away first, which I imagine he's going to do here, is just so big. Yeah,
and like you said, Karl getting all 3 of his 4-ups covered in mud is going to let him hide the Bolt Boys, behind cover. They won't be able to be targeted, which means Matt, who does have a bunch of shooting in his own army, he's gonna not have all the choices in the world.
No, and just looking at the list is just right. My first kind of thoughts is First Blood is tough because he's that bottom left corner. Like, Matt is really gonna have trouble kind of getting over there with not the Phoenix is decently fast, but the way they're positioned, it's looking like it's gonna top right, bottom left. You're kind of classic one of those. So we'll exactly. see if Karl what he does here, but a strong feeling he's probably going to give away the first here.
Yeah, and definitely noteworthy. I guess just going through his list quickly, we do have mentioned the Breaker Boss, who is his general with Super Sneaky and the Fasten Mount trait. He's got 2 Swamp Crawler Shamans, both with Choking Mist, and one of them has the artifact Mork's Eye Pebble, which is a great once per game artifact to give a 5-up ward save against shooting. That's a 12-inch aura, I believe. So that's just, in those shooting matchups, which we're seeing a lot, every army's, or not every army, but a lot of armies have a little bit of shooting at least. And just that bit of resilience is going to be huge. But,
it's a great item. I don't know if there's any other really better ones than that one in this scenario, at least, for sure, too.
For sure. And obviously he's got the big man Kragnos on the left side of the table. 3 units of Bolt Boys for battle line, 9, 6, and 3. And then the aforementioned 20 Hobgrot Slittas, which are a nice little screen, and bodies for objectives, where he doesn't have a lot of bodies, especially when you have the stuff like the Bolt Boys hiding off the table.
Yeah, they're cheap too, so there's a nice little chaff unit, cheap, and like you said, good to be able to just redeploy them if you need to.
For sure.
I don't know what's going on with I think they're probably, some of those models in the top middle are on top of the building, I would imagine.
Yes.
They're a little scattered out, so.
Yeah, I think those 2 that are in front were on top of the building there. But it does look like, so we're into round 1. Karl did give Matt first turn. So Matt started off with doing Ferocious Advance. Looks like he chose the 2 units of Phoenix Guard and the Phoenix for Ferocious Advance. And both Kragnos and the Sorceress succeeded at heroic leadership, so an extra few command points floating around. And already into movement, it looks like we did have a little casting with the Hurricaneum casting Mystic Shield on the Phoenix Guard on the right side, and the Phoenix failing to cast Arcane Bolts, and then the Sorceress opting not to cast it all, having nothing in range.
Yeah, do you want to go over Matt's list quick while he's in his movement?
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah.
Good idea. So
I imagine he was just out of range for his other stuff, I imagine.
It is noteworthy that Matt definitely was pretty conservative with his deployment. When you look at Karl right up into the corners of his zone in First Blood, that was like more of just on the diagonal, quite a ways back. I don't know if he's just playing extra careful, fearing Kragnos, but
Yeah, possibly, but I think in this one you gotta get as far up as you can. That's especially that bottom middle. You want to be closer to the middle if you can too.
Yeah, with that ferocious advance, like you're looking at the Phoenix Guard and Phoenix, he's not yet tagging any of the objectives. So, but yeah, do you want to take us through the list?
I actually don't have it up. Do you?
Oh yeah, no worries. Yeah. So as we mentioned before, we got Matt playing Anvilgard tonight. His general is the Anointed on Frostheart Phoenix, has the Black Fang Crime Lord trait, Arcane Tome artifact to make him a wizard, with Vitriolic Spray. Also the same spell that the Sorceress has taken, which is pretty much that spell is the main reason to go Anvilgard. What it does is it turns off armor saves for a unit.
Yeah, it's so good.
So
very good here for Kragnos, but he has the 3d6.
Yes, but that is a spell that, like, sometimes if you try it and you get lucky, that spell, if he could get that off on Kragnos, turning off Kragnos' save, with those Dark Shards is the perfect way to take him down.
Yeah, or the Mire Brute. Yeah, but Craig, that would be insane if that that came up.
Yeah, because that 2-up save is hard to chew through without high Ren, but...
You do see Flaming Weapon a lot on there too, with the Phoenix, with the Arcane Tome. That's another good shout, because he does 2 damage, so if you can get those beaks doing 3 damage each, he can actually do some good work.
And his last hero, is the Hurricane with Battle Mage, has the Shadow Daggers spell. We have 2 units of 20 Phoenix Guard, obviously a ton of resiliency in those 2 units with the 4 board saves. And otherwise, we got the unit of 30 Dark Shards, Matt's big shooting threat, a unit of 10 Dread Spears, which will be a nice little screen, and pairs well with the Sorceress because she can sacrifice some of them to boost her casting. And with casting, Matt did take 2 endless spells here. Umbral Spell Portal, again, extending that spell range for something like Vitriolic Spray is huge. And the last one being Emerald Life Swarm, bringing bodies back, obviously with the Phoenix Guard, being so tanky, keeping that unit topped up is amazing, as well as, anything else, any of his units or heroes even taking damage, use the Life Swarm for them.
Yeah, both of those are just so good in this list. Vitriolic Spray through the portal, or Life Swarm even on the Dark Shards, so good.
Yeah, but that was actually the wrap. We've seen Matt end his turn, not being in range of any shooting here with the Hurricanum or Dark Shards. So we're into Carl's turn 1, and he's chosen aggressive expansion for his battle tactic, choosing the left and center objectives.
Yep.
And it looks like Matt, without tagging any of those objectives, only scores 2 points for his battle tactic round 1.
Yeah, the only other thing I could have saw him possibly doing is running 3 different units and just maybe tagging the top right one with his Phoenix.
Yes.
So you can definitely hold one, or just playing a little closer to the line. But this one thing in this list is it doesn't have, it's not super fast, so you are going to struggle on missions like this where you can't get far enough. Yeah,
for sure. Looking at heroic actions, Carl failed with heroic leadership, where Matt succeeded on that, so Matt gets the extra CP here. And what did we do? So Carl's left, so the shaman on the left with the 9 Bolt Boys opted not to use the poison and actually cast Mystic Shield on Kragnos, where the shaman in the center did use his poison on the 6 Bolt Boys, so they'll have the boost to their shooting. Interesting that Carl chose not to use it on the left unit. Could be just they're out of range this early in the game, and with how defensive Matt was.
Yeah, I don't know, because he wants to keep them in there, right? So it just must not be 27 inches from the edge of that where they are to whatever he wants to hit. But even shooting the Phoenix Guard, it's still important to have that poison. So I don't know, yeah.
But otherwise, we saw the Mire Brute did use at the double just to move up, run up a little, so got a little extra speed. Potentially trying to get in there on turn 2 if Carl wins priority. He does have the Fasten trait still, so he can get that extra hero phase movement, which he has not used yet.
Yeah, even with where he deployed him, I don't know if I would have put the Mire Brute that far back. I don't know if Carl has a different plan of why he kept him at the very back tip, because he can't teleport or anything, the cities.
Yeah.
So maybe leaving him maybe deploying where he is now, just keeping him 18 away from those Phoenix Guard. Or I guess maybe he was scared of the Dark Shard shooting.
Yeah, that's true.
That could be it.
It's not a great save on the Mire Brute, so the volume of shooting could take him down.
And now he's just...
Yeah. We see Kragnos, the big boy himself, thrown on that center objective. And without Matt having tagged that first turn, Matt's going to have a tough time storing that center point with while Kragnos is alive, counting as 30 bodies while he's full health.
Oh, yeah, he's not getting that. Carl has said too, yeah, he was out at 27 for the range, so makes sense.
Okay, yeah, Carl is in the chat tonight, filling in all the gaps, giving us his insights, so great to hear what's going on, obviously from his perspective as well. Worth noting, we do have a couple games this week. We're going to be airing all 3 rounds of the Masters event. With the first one, this game tonight, we'll have round 2 on Wednesday night, and round 3 will go live Thursday night for a stream for our premium members and going live to the public on Friday. So throughout the week, we'll obviously get all 3 rounds of the tournament coverage out to you guys.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like the shooting has started, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, looks like the 6 Bolt Boys in the center of the table at the top dealt 7 damage, killed 7 Phoenix Guard. So after the ward saves, 7 still going down. That's a pretty good chunk, I think.
Yeah, that's what, 14 damage normally. If you made 4-ups on average, that's a decent amount. Yeah, you can't ask for more than that.
Yep. And we are, Carl has wrapped up his turn, scored 5 points. We're into priority. Looks like Carl rolls the 3, Matt rolls a 5, and is taking the turn. So we'll go into round 2 with Cities of Sigmar taking it. Obviously, good for Matt, obviously, to win priority there. Carl's, moved some stuff forward to try and get in there, but the fact that he's got those Bolt Boys covered in mud, in terrain right now that's scary, I think, for Matt.
It is. It's very, very, very good. There are very few things that you can do against covered in mud. Things that don't target them, like, I don't know, there's a couple things in the game. The Realm Shaper engine being one of them, that's great for shooting them, but it's very tough when you're covered in mud, for sure, and not having very fast units, so he's not going to be able to get at them quick enough.
Exactly, so you can't get into combat. Well, he's got the Phoenix, though, so that's something. Mm-hmm. But again, that center point, while he's measuring right now to see if he can get on there, or maybe threat ranges, it's going to be real tough to take that.
Yeah, he's not getting 32 models on there.
No, for sure. It looks like both Kragnos and the Phoenix did get heroic leadership this turn. Carl gets an extra CP actually this round because he went second last round and chose the vantage point, which would have been the bottom left. He chose that one again, the bottom left objective, as the vantage point this round, which again, on this mission, if you control that at the end of the round, you get a CP the following turn or the following round. So putting Carl with the heroic leadership at 5 CP right now is pretty rich in command points.
Yeah, and I don't even think he's gonna need too many of them here. We'll see.
Yeah.
See what Matt does. See how far he gets up here, but you're getting into craggy range. He looks like he's probably already is, especially with the Mybrute with Fasten as well. So.
Yep, we had a quick question from Adam about Covered in Mud. So Covered in Mud is an ability or one of the tricks from the Kruleboyz sub-faction. It allows units that are wholly on terrain to be basically untargetable to shooting, which means, but it only goes off, so he gets 3 dice and that he rolls at the start of the game. 4-ups allow him to pick 1 unit for that, so he potentially gets 3 of those. Could roll no 4-ups. I know it's happened to Carl, but here today he did roll 3 4-ups, so he got to choose 3 units that when they are in cover, they are not targetable. So again, one of the best answers to shooting being shoot the shooting unit first. Matt's not going to have that option really because he can't target those Bolt Boys while they are covered in mud.
Yeah, so right off the bat, like just seeing this, it's really tough for Matt because he's not fast. So seeing both of those units covered in mud and having Kragnos and the Mybrute, this is just like an uphill battle, definitely right from the beginning.
Yeah, and
this is where faster armies that can teleport or reload, translocate, do things that can, at least you have some type of play that you can do if he does get those covered in mud rolls. Yeah,
they got those tricks to try and work around it or different tools and tech that they can take advantage of. Looks like Matt chose Monstrous Takeover for his battle tactic, so he's looking to get that Phoenix on an objective and obviously has to hold it, so
the top right, yeah.
It's got to be, because unless he kills Kragnos, the Phoenix, you can't score Monstrous Takeover. while there is an opposing monster on that, let alone having to take, put 32 bodies, like you said.
It's very interesting that Carl went for Mystic Shield here. Does he even have anything that does -2 rend? Because unless he can't do all, I guess if he roars him, he wouldn't be able to do all defense.
I suppose it lets him, stay at -2 without having to spend the command points.
Yeah, that's a good shout. Not having to use CP.
Yeah, though Carl is pretty rich in CP right now. And Matt did use Rally, actually, so we're still in the hero phase. Matt rallied his Phoenix Guard, got one of them back. So already starting to replenish that unit. And, I'm sure there's a good chance we may see that Life Swarm come out sometime soon. But it looks like
he might be in range. I don't know we can't tell from how close he is, but I guess 18 plus Vitriolic Spray is only 6? It's super short.
Yes, it is. But Matt does have the Umbral Spell Portal.
That's what. Even then, the 24 inches. I don't know if that's
hard to say.
We'll see.
The Sorceress is in the mix, down in the middle of all those bodies too. So hard to tell exactly where she is. But the Sorceress did just kill a Dark Shard and get +2 to casting and cast Umbral Spell Portal. So we're seeing Umbral Spell Portal go down now, and it is notable actually. Measuring there from the Sorceress, they don't have to. The two pieces now going just wholly within 18 of her, they can actually be further apart. Matt can put the one further back, closer to his other units.
Yeah,
And he did put that one right beside the Phoenix, which is pretty good. And like we said, Matt just cast Vitriolic Spray successfully, and Carl unbinds it with a Shaman. So
wow.
Yeah, he went for it, but now obviously the unbind from the Shaman coming in clutch there. Kragnos, we know, does, as you mentioned, have the spell defense on his War Scroll, so that makes him super resilient to spells as well. And then here we are seeing the Hurricanum cast the Emerald Spell Portal. Sorry, Emerald Life Swarm.
Yep.
Bringing back one more Phoenix Guard.
Yeah, it's so good on Phoenix Guard Drakes. There's so many good as you know, the Sentinels, Wardens. Oh man, Life Swarm is such a good spell. That could have a change in June. I don't know if it's gonna stay. Doing it twice. I think they might put that back down to once.
Yeah, I don't know. It's solid, but does one, just 3 wounds make or break? Yeah, it's a tough one because I don't know. Maybe that's just me as a player that uses it, like you said, in Lumineth. I like it the way it is, but we do actually. Matt just did bring, with it activating at the end of the hero phase. Matt brought another 3 Phoenix Guard back there, so. I think he's brought 5 back this turn now, so he's only lost, 2 in total from the starting unit. So
it's so good.
Yeah, so he's brought back 5 wounds worth. 5 wounds worth, or 5 bodies, which is effectively 10 wounds worth back into that unit because of their awesome ward save.
Mm-hmm. And he has just tossed that bird up too before there. Didn't even measure. He's just plopping it right on the top right objective.
But looks like he ran it up. Yeah. Obviously, with Monstrous Takeover, he's got to stay there. So I assume he isn't planning on charging or anything. Well, can't charge because of his battle tactic. So we are seeing, though, looks like he is taking that top right objective. As looking at Carl's positioning, doesn't look like he's really has much to threaten it. Besides Kragnos in the middle of the board, I guess could go up and over there, go into the Phoenix. Guess we'll see.
Yeah, it's interesting here now what target priority, what he's gonna try to shoot here.
Yeah. We haven't yet seen the movement finish, so he's measuring out for the Hurricanum, so it looks like we're just going to be finishing up movement there.
Oh man, that thing, Hurricanum is just so good. The shooting attack, 3/2 ups, and then D3 on each of them.
Yes,
good.
And we just saw there measuring up to Kragnos, so it looks like he is trying to get that Hurricanum into Kragnos.
Yeah, it looks like we're talking about where he can get to, and if he can get within 18 inches of it.
Yeah, exactly. And with that amazing save that Kragnos has, also Mystic Shield. Best way to get around it is Mortal Wounds. As we know, Mortal Wounds are super strong, especially in shooting in the current meta.
Oh yeah. Yep, that's what takes Kragnos down. Yep. Gotta have Mortal Wounds or you're boned.
Yep, and I mean volume helps too when you're on a 2-up. more shots you have, the more, more ones you can force. You can, really see those, that's, I think, going to be a big story with Kragnos, actually. Any army with Kragnos almost is do armies have the tools to deal with him?
Yeah.
And
yeah, it's definitely interesting to see exactly. You need, it's always funny how the meta shifts, right? Like when certain things get good, you need more mortal wounds. When certain things come out, you need more hordes with 1 damage. There's so many different, that's why Age of Sigmar is so great, especially at like LVO and those big events, because you might just not run into any of those. So smaller events, it's way different for us, because I know that you're going to be there. I know that Carl's going to be there. So like when you're tailoring or making your list, you have an idea of what guys are playing, but it's so much different when you go to, that's why I love big events. And you don't know the players, and you don't have no idea what you're going to get paired into.
And if you can, when looking at the greater meta of what you expect to take, if you can, make a good prediction in terms of what you expect the meta to be, and can counter build for it, you'll see some surprising armies make a solid run. Like as we saw and talked about with Levon, taking Soulblight Gravelords all the way to second through 8 rounds of LVO, making it to the final tables with Soulblight Gravelords, which is considered to be a solid but not insane battle tome. But watching especially his run in the top 8 cutoff, he paired into armies that just had a lot of tricks and tech, but just did not have enough volume of output.
Yeah, Soulblight is so good, and I feel like if you play them a lot, you can get a lot better with them. The book is so diverse. Again, there's so many different cool builds that you can do. So yeah, Soulblight's definitely an interesting one. Alex Gonzalez there just won the Old Town Throwdown or whatever it was. I saw on Twitter, and that's with Soulblight, right? So it's, those Graveguard can smash, and yeah, there's so many good units in Soulblight.
Oh yeah, for sure. And Adam's asking just about what our predictions for the next GHB, or what we think it might look like, which just actually makes me think, how do you feel about Dur? Obviously, we've been playing it for a long time now. Almost miss the variety of other realms.
Yeah, I have no idea where they're going to go with it, to be honest. I don't know if they're going to go, people think they're going to Ulgu, or they're going to all these different realms. Like, what are they going to...
That's the one I'm hearing a lot, is the predictions of Ulgu. Obviously, following the storyline of AoS and what's going on narratively and with releases. That's word on the street, and who knows if that has any tie-in. Obviously, there's speculation of that new Order battle tome later in the year could potentially be something from Uldu. We've heard rumors of Shadow Elves. I'm on the hoping for one of the rumors to come true, which is Sylvaneth. Obviously, I would love to see the trees get a little extra love.
Yeah, obviously, yeah. I don't know. Who knows what's gonna happen? But yeah, if I'd rather you be playing Sylvaneth than playing Stormcast or Lumineth. And now with New Deepkin, yeah, trust me.
You say that
plus on your team.
Yes, we'll see when Sylvaneth is overpowered again. I'm sure we won't be saying that, but it does look like the Hurricanum wasn't actually in range of Kragnos in the end, and shot at the Hobgrots, killing 6 of them. So whittling down some of the little guys. Obviously, I'm sure he would have loved to shoot the Bolt Boys. That would have killed a few Bolt Boys, but not being able to target them here, it's huge.
Yeah, or not being able to get into Kragnos. I think he could have probably moved him to the left, but it's hard to tell up here, right? Like he obviously down there would have tried his best, I imagine, to target Kragnos.
Yeah, it looks like he was measuring it, and it looks like that Hurricanum is butted up against a wall, so it might have just been the terrain not letting him get into position there.
Must have been out, yeah. No, this must be the Dark Shards here. I imagine. What do you shoot here?
Looks like he's targeting Kragnos, using all-out attack with these guys, yeah.
Just hoping he rolls ones.
Let's see.
What's the range? I don't know if you might want to shoot the Meyerbroof here.
They might be, I believe they're 24 off the top of my head.
So I think he might be able to get all of them in there. This is a risky play going for Kragnos here on 2-up save.
Yeah. Yeah, 2-up, ignoring one rend. Obviously hard to chew through, but hey, if you roll a couple ones, never know. Looks like Carl's making some saves. I think Matt, just with the volume of attacks, split it into 2 groups. So looks like
it took at least a wound.
Yeah, it does. So you have a wound marker out there. So let's see how much Matt's able to put on the big boy in the end.
Oh, here's Carl in the chat. Yeah, I guess he was a half inch out from hitting Kragnos. Oh, wow. So he's 28. Carl, you measured that, right, buddy? Oh, the dark shards are only 16 inch.
Okay.
I did not know that.
Always hard, obviously, just from looking at one angle to guess the measurement ranges, but looking at the objectives, obviously the objectives are 12 across. Kragnos is significantly onto the objective, so.
Yeah, someone said he couldn't reach your brute. I think he could have probably with some of them, probably the left half of them maybe. So maybe he thought it was, if he's going all in, he might as well put them all at Kragnos, I would imagine.
Yeah, it looks like he's 12 to the Phoenix Guard right now for the Meyer brute, so probably could have got a few of them in, like you said.
14 to the front dark shard, I think I saw there. So yeah, he probably would have only got maybe 9 or 10.
Yeah. And it looks like Kragnos did take 3 damage in the end, so 16 health total on Kragnos, already down to 13. That's not nothing.
Yeah, if he would have got that Hurricaneum in there, ooh, mama, that would have been real nice.
Especially if you think about the long bomb of getting vitriolic spray off. If that had not been unbound, and Kragnos, that's a tough spell to cast actually. So it's not guaranteed that Kragnos is going to ignore that. And I think we would have seen a dead Kragnos already if the vitriolic spray had gone through.
Yeah, it's an 8, so he would have had to roll a 9 on 3d6, which you're right. Yeah, he could easily roll a 6, 7, 8 on 3d6, and then he has no save, and he was, oh my god, he would be going down. So that would have been epic.
Obviously big for the unbind there, and that not going through. But just having the double redundancy of 2 ways to try to get rid of that spell. But Matt's turn is ended. He only holds 1 objective here, that top right one, and claims his battle tactic. Scoring 3 points, so we have a tie game right now, but we are only in the bottom of round 2, so Carl still has his turn to answer.
Yeah, this is gonna be smashy time, I think.
yes, and yeah, measuring those bolt boys, seeing what's in range. Looks like so last round Carl would have used inspiring presence on the Hobgrots, keeping those guys around, and not letting any more run away. They're pretty much going to be, besides Kragnos, who has 30 bodies, which is noteworthy, they're like the only bodies that are going to be up on objectives, I feel like, in this game, with the Bolt Boys just wanting to hide back there and cover.
Yeah, I think that might be one of the weaknesses to this list. Well, I guess everything has to have a weakness, right? Like, he has that good of shooting, then you are sacrificing. It's almost like the old Lumineth. You kill the Sentinel or the Wardens. As long, I guess you're teleporting the Sentinels around, or you're not going to be able to get out on it.
Exactly.
So.
If you sit in the middle of the board, the Sentinels have great output, but like you said, they can't push people off objectives too well. So
yeah, if he was able to take out the Brute or some of the other units and get to this bottom left objective, yeah, I don't know. It's tough. Like I said, it's not the fastest army, but
and so we have gone for broken ranks on the center Phoenix Guard, so that unit of 20 right next to near Kragnos. So that's what Matt's got 18 in that unit. That's 36 wounds he's got to do there to chew through those guys. Not to mention, obviously, they do have armor saves as well. So put a lot of output into them.
Yeah, and looks like Carl healed Kragnos up 2 wounds back. So
okay, so we're
always nice.
Yeah, so up to 15 out of 16 again. So. That is big, and both Shamans actually using the poisons this turn, so no Mystic Shield. I assume just having those Bolt Boys in range, obviously, will get that shooting in, get the damage in, try and chew through those Phoenix Guard.
Yeah, it's still mortals, right? Like, they still have a 4-up save, so they can go 3-up with all the defense. It's like, Phoenix Guard are still good just having the 4-up ward, but mortals are still, whenever you can get them, they're still the best to have.
Yeah. For sure. Yeah, moving those noble, heroic Hobgrots into the center of the table now.
Yeah. From all over the stupid piece of terrain. I hate when you have to,
wrap
put a
around.
die on there and put a dice and wobbly model. This is there. It's like, but it's tough with terrain because you don't want to have, I love big pieces of terrain and nice stuff like that, but there needs to be good rules for, making it impassable or garrisonable, which I think this was actually, the pack here was pretty good about that.
Yes.
Like, big giant pieces were garrisonable, and these ones were all just kind of normal terrain, but
it is nice, like, having the platforms on the bottom does give you a territory, that the terrain covers or getting actual cover in it. Obviously, you see a lot of tables that are buildings or whatnot, and there's not actually cover for you to stand in. That was one great thing here. Obviously, great terrain here supplied by Torchlight at their venue. So
yeah, the venue is awesome here.
Always nice playing there. They had very nice tables out for us. So super excited for that.
Yeah, what's up, Smorgan? Which player has a better hat? Carl is anti-hat, so not him.
Yeah, Matt, I believe, was wearing a hat. So Matt has the hat advantage at least.
Yep. See if it helps. He needs some help here just in this situation. So we'll see if the hat is anything.
Yeah.
Looking great.
Yeah, we are getting into shooting. Starting off with those Bolt Boys in the center, targeting the center Phoenix Guard, who are the broken ranks targets. So see how fast he can chew through those guys.
I think pretty fast.
Do you think he'll be able to take him down this turn? That 18 Phoenix Guard?
Well,
only two dying to that first unit of 6 Bolt Boys shooting, so not a lot.
No, but I don't know. Kragnos, yeah, we'll see.
Kragnos is there. The Mire Brute's there, and it's actually the Mire Brute. It is noteworthy that he's pretty punchy. Only 180 points, not very tanky, but he can hit pretty good.
Yeah, he doesn't have any bonuses to charge though, right? What that looks like, probably about a 6 or 7.
With Kragnos there.
Oh yes, 3d6.
Yep, so that'll be helping out. Oh yeah, we might see him get in there as well. Hopefully that's enough to for Carl at say chew through those Phoenix Guard.
Yeah, and even the Dark Shards, because really, if he gets both of them in, he can probably wipe with Kragnos and then get the Mire Brute in, or vice versa. But I think you got to go with the big wipe. We'll see how many he's pulling here. Jesus, how much damage did he do there?
It looks like that unit of 9 Bolt Boys on the left just killed another 4 Phoenix Guards. So we're 6 down, 12 left in the unit. We got 3 more Bolt Boys. I don't know if they're in range, those 3 at the back. Oh no, Carl's rolling for some Hogrot trash grenades, as he loves to call them, but deals no damage.
Nice. Good pulling from Matt there too, trying to keep them outside. I don't think it's going to matter, really, once he gets in here. There's definitely enough room there for the Mire Brute to fit in.
Yep. Looks like Matt's measuring up for an Unleash Hell, potentially.
Yeah, he could sneak a few moves through if he rolls once.
Yep. Well,
he doesn't have Mystic Shield, actually, I guess now.
Exactly. So, I believe they have 1 rend on the Dark Shards, correct? I'm pretty sure I believe they have 1 rend. If so, they'll be looking for 3-ups because obviously no all-out defense or way to negate or plus the save.
Yeah. No, I don't think they do have rend. Most of those cities units, none of those have rend.
Okay, so.
No, Carl, no rend.
No rend, so just relying here
on ones.
Yeah, relying on the ones, hoping in future turns to get that vitriolic spray off. Just removing Kragnos' armor save would be, a godsend if you can do that.
It's tough. The Dark Shards, it's +1 to hit if you have over 10. So, if they're hitting on 3s, I guess it's good for -1s with all-out attack, but it's just rough. They're not giving you something else, right? Like +1 to hit, you can already get. So good if there's a -1 to hit, I guess. But
yeah, big volume of attacks. Again, as we saw with 2 of the wizards taking vitriolic spray, that's got to be Matt's strategy. Doesn't need rend if you just remove their armor save.
Yeah, and in Unleash Hell, that +1 to hit having over 10 is great with Unleash Hell because then you're back to 4s though, but still, yeah.
It helps balance it out. Looks like we did get a couple shots through. If Kragnos takes any damage.
Yeah.
Oh, we're still rolling, so with 60 shots, I guess we got to do it in batches. Part of the problem we have that many shots. The anticipation is mounting. We'll see. A couple more saves.
Looks like a 6-up here. Nope, took another one.
Okay, looks like 2 damage total on Kragnos. Oh,
I don't see much brackets on him though, right? Just what is it?
Yeah.
Just his one melee profile. Like the big hammer definitely doesn't.
No, and especially with the new monster profiles that we're seeing in AOS, they bracket at such a more manageable rate, more practical rate. So
now, Matt pulled a couple of the Phoenix Guard down at the bottom there. I wonder what.
Oh, that could have been. Kragnos does do impact mortals, so he actually killed 2 Phoenix Guard. Okay, that's what he would have pulled. There were 2 Phoenix Guard killed on the charge from Kragnos.
But I wonder why he pulled them from the bottom there and not the top 2.
I don't know. I think maybe just trying to make the charge harder for the Mire Brute, but looks like he did get in.
Phoenix Guard though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I guess it does. Maybe it made it an inch further in case he could have possibly failed it.
But looks like we're going in with Kragnos first. Carl's using all-out attack. The Phoenix Guard use all-out defense. Noteworthy. Oh yeah, no. So there's no Hunters of the Heartland. So I don't know if we did a monstrous action there or not, or we might have failed it. Yeah, Kragnos starting off with the mace. So first attack profile only kills 4 Phoenix Guard.
Ooh.
Well, that's the big one too. That's the, his big weapon. But obviously the legs and the shield are not no slouch there. Lots of damage from those guys as well. So.
And it's just a 4-up ward. It's super spiky, right? You can.
Yeah, but that first attack is that's the Rend 3 attack on Kragnos. So that chews through the. That's only relying on the ward, like you say.
Looks like he failed 2 or 3 of them there.
Got 2 more dying from the hoof attacks. Leaving the shield for last. See if Kragnos can finish it off for that extra monster point.
Those don't look like good saves. And 9 damage. You roll 3 3s there.
Yeah.
Looks like 6 damage. It's enough.
Yep. Looks like the shield Tusk Raider finished them off. So that's big, actually. The Mire Brute was obviously there, but finishing off with Kragnos will score Carl that extra monster point.
Yeah.
And that's honestly such a big part of the game right now. I feel like in AOS 3, I think we've, in general, from my experience, seen so many closer games this edition.
Mm-hmm.
And those little, those little 1-2 points extra you can squeak out from monsters or taking down monsters sometimes can make or break it.
Now, smart play here. If he wants to keep Kragnos out of 3 here, so that if he gets turned, he's able to shoot the Mire Brute off, freeing the Dark Charge to shoot. Something other than Kragnos, unless he can get Vitriolic Spray off on him, I guess. But
does look like so no damage from the Dark Shards,
no.
And then the Mire Brute kills 6 of the Dark Shards in return. Or that was just the Rider, actually. So 6 Dark Shards dead from the Mire Brute, and the Trogroth kills another 9. So 15 Dark Shards dead. That's half the unit.
Yeah, that Mire Brute can slap, man. It's
it's no joke.
It's got 2 rend on. I think it's got 2 rend on the one on the. It's like 4 attacks or so. 2 rend, 3 damage. That's can do some decent damage. He probably did all-out attack, I imagine, there as well.
Looks like no. Carl did use all-out attack.
He did it with Kragnos.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But Carl scored 6 points, so already 11-5. We are into priority. Matt rolls another 5 to Carl's 3, and Cities of Sigmar will be taking the 3rd turn.
And that's big too, because he was able to pull his Dark Shards out of combat. So now he can rally them, he can Emerald Life Swarm them. So he's bringing back 4, 6 on average. That's pretty good.
Yep. But as we see, Kragnos there is still on the objective. Oh, I don't think Matt has, unless again we see a Vitriolic Spray go through. I don't think we can see Kragnos going down. Actually, I don't think I don't think Matt's in range to cast a Vitriolic Spray here at all.
Yeah, good shout from Smargan here. You can yank the chain and up his attacks as well.
Yep. Doing that damage to the Trogroth, or the Mire Brute does it to the Trogroth, so
yeah, D3 mortal wounds, but each mortal wound you add 2 attacks. I remember I played against someone who did that. So a bunch of extra attacks.
Here it looks like the Sorceress and the Phoenix, which both have Vitriolic Spray, neither are in range of Kragnos, and Spell Portal is still on the board with neither of them in range of that. So,
Ooh.
so he's not even in range to cast Vitriolic Spray this turn. I think.
Yeah. So that's a mistake. If he dispelled that in Carl's turn, that would have been big.
Exactly. Yeah, Matt should have dispelled that. Yeah, Spell Portal, as you say, is not.
It's such an easy mistake though. Like you remember when you and I played a bunch, it was always like, is Jordan going to remember to dispel his own portal? Or in your turn, I'm like, nope, I'm finding portal.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. So, yeah, that's big. Not even getting a chance to put Vitriolic Spray. So, I don't think he can afford to try to shoot at Kragnos. What he did 1 damage, or 3 damage, the first volley the first round of shooting last round. And I was with a full unit where he's only at half unit now.
Yeah, did Carl did he heal up Kragnos again on his hero phase?
It looks like so. Yes, Kragnos healed. Used Heroic Recovery, healing 3 again, actually.
God, so yeah, that's not good.
Yeah, so I actually think Kragnos is back to full health then. Because he took 2. He was at 15, took 2 from Unleash Hell. So yeah, he should be back up to full health. Matt has chosen Slay the Warlord for his battle tactics, so looks like he will be, at least with some stuff, targeting the Mire Brute and to get that thing down for the battle tactic. Going for Heroic Leadership with the Sorceress and immediately rallying, and he did get 4 Dark Shards back, so brings him up to 19. 19, sorry, yep.
That's good. That's over average for sure. Nice.
So, trying to replenish the unit, as you said. We see the Phoenix just cast Arcane Bolt. So, again, Mortal Wounds being the best way to deal with Craggy. The Hurricaneum's definitely going to be in range this turn, I feel like, so.
Yeah, he's going to be outside for... Who had the... I know the Hurricaneum had the Blades. I think that's a D6 Mortal Wound spell, but yeah, he's not going to be in for that either.
I think a big thing worth noting, obviously, so impactful, turn order in general. Matt has won the priorities, but being given first turn and losing that initial roll, being tied on drops, really hurts Matt, because a piece like Kragnos, you really, really want the double turn to try and deal with him.
Yeah, and he'll never get it even because he's at the top of the round. Exactly.
Yeah. So that's, Matt's definitely on the back foot just from being given that and having to take priority each round. Now, he has won it, but not giving him that opportunity to put 2 rounds of shooting. The Hurricaneum, 2 rounds from that could be 12 mortal wounds alone, pretty easily.
Yeah, well, it could be 18 mortal wounds.
Yes, you roll like a god.
Oh yeah, that thing has killed a lot of my shit.
Yep, we did see, so the Hurricaneum cast Chain Lightning here, dealing 2 damage to the Mire Brute, and it bounces to Kragnos, but he did ignore it, so no mortals from the spell.
So big. The 3d6 is just so good on that.
Yeah, so it's going to be tough, obviously, for Matt here. Not only in dealing with Kragnos, but just trying to get points back. Again, that center objective is going to be so tough to take.
Yeah, what do you do here? Like, I honestly don't know. I don't think you're going to take Kragnos down. You can definitely take the Brute down, kill some of that, and bring the Phoenix over, but you're not going to be holding 2 here. So just score-wise, it's going to be really tough for Matt to come back from this.
Yeah, exactly. Unless the Phoenix... Actually, I was just going to say, unless the Phoenix pushes... That's his fastest unit, but...
yeah, but he can't charge...
Yeah, no,
even if he charges and rolls a big one and gets into the 9, I don't think he can pile in and touch that point.
Exactly. He's not getting there this turn, but... we'll see what he does if he does end up charging that Phoenix in, but... Leaving it there, or threading that bad objective, isn't the worst idea to make Kragnos try and turn around and deal with it.
Yeah, and you can always, he has the 4-up board, right? You can always spike those as well.
Yep, -1 to wound is huge with that aura as well from the Phoenix. That'll hurt Kragnos.
Then he just has best day ever.
That's true. But
the beauty of being 2s to wound on all 3 of your profiles.
But yeah, I guess he's not worried about using it defensively here with no significant rend in Matt's army.
No. Just the mortals. That's what. Yeah, he's got to. Yeah, I was gonna say it really hurt him not being able to get the hurricane and mortals into him in that first bit, but
it looks like
he would have healed back 3. But yeah.
At the end of the hero phase, though, it did look like so Life Swarm did return 2 Dark Shards, so he was back up to 21. So not too bad. Brought 6 back this turn, and the Dark Shards are right now targeting the Mire Brute. So obviously going for Slay the Warlord here. They have used their Triumph, which was inspired, for +1 to wound. So we'll see against something that does not have a 2-up armor save if they can do the damage. I think they'll have.
It's a lot of shots. I think it should. It doesn't have a ward save at all, right? The Mire Brute doesn't have anything.
No. And I think he's only a 4-up base save. I don't think we even saw an all-out defense or anything at all, so he may be writing that guy off.
Yeah, he's probably fine with it. He already went in and did his thing. Those things are cheap as ball. Like, what are they? Like 160 or 70 points?
180 points on the Mire Brute. Yeah, so
yeah, it's not the worst.
No, Carl's talked about again. We just this past weekend, 2 days ago, did a stream. Carl and I talking all about Kragnos, and his use in destruction armies. We did talk about the list Carl is playing in this game. So if you want to learn a little bit more about Carl's insights and tech, you can go check out that video. It's definitely insightful, and I think something. Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, he took him off. Yeah.
Yep. So Mire Brute down from the Dark Shards, but Kragnos is a piece I definitely think we're going to be seeing more and more for the next little bit. Someone whose stock has shot up recently with his changes, and I think definitely if you're hitting events or playing against him, check out that video. Help learn a little bit about Kragnos if you're not haven't practiced against him yet. He's a strong piece that's going to be tough for some armies to deal with, as we're seeing here.
Yeah, big time.
Ooh. So the Hurricane has shot at Kragnos and has put 5 mortal wounds on him.
Nice, not bad.
Yep, so that's basically a third of his health. He's got 11 left right now.
Oh, what is this? A big charge he's trying to get into the Bolt Boys, looks like.
Ah.
Looks like a 10 or at least.
Yeah, actually, sorry. Big development.
Oh, there's a fist pump. That must be good.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got him.
So we did actually see with Matt, this is round 3, with Matt taking the priority this turn, Carl burnt that top right objective. That is bad news for Matt, obviously. Matt is already having a tough time on the objectives, playing the objective game, and now losing the only objective he controlled. That is not a good position for Matt.
No, not at all. No, well, it's what we said at the beginning, right? If you're in a position to even give away turn 3, or because Matt has to go here, right? So it's one of those shitty situations where you have to do it, and it's almost like he pretty much needs to take Kragnos down this turn, which is going to be very difficult to do.
Oh, and so while we did see a big charge from Matt and those Phoenix Guard, it looks
Unleash
like
Hell.
The Bolt Boys just killed 10 of them with Unleash Hell.
Oh, yes. God.
Yeah. Those Bolt Boys, looks like Carl must have rolled a few 6s there for those mortal wounds. And we do see the Phoenix charging into Kragnos. I wonder
that was an 11, I think. So he could have definitely went into the Bolt Boys over here, but...
Yeah, that's interesting too, but maybe he's just trying to protect the Dark Shards. Because with the Phoenix's position, actually, it doesn't look like Kragnos even, if he tries to pile in around to the Dark Shards, even over a turn or two, he can't do that and stay on the objective with Matt's positioning there with the Phoenix.
Yeah, that's a good show. He could have probably even went a little further if he really wanted to. But...
Oh, interesting. Losing 10 Phoenix Guard to those Bolt Boys, that's rough.
Yeah, that's a huge spike, and he must have just flubbed his 4-up wards.
Yep, for sure. But looks like the Phoenix and Kragnos are both Titanic dueling. We'll see a big showdown there in the center. Obviously, Kragnos not on the charge, so didn't get the potential insane mortal wounds going into a monster, but just obviously still have a ton of damage. What do you think? Do you think the Phoenix here will survive against him?
I don't know, man. 3 rend. It all depends on those 4-up wards. Because he did get a spell off, right? So he'll have +1 save, so he will be on a 3-up. So he'll get a 6-up at least for his save, but
6-up, and then obviously the ward save. Yep.
Yeah, so if he makes 1 6-up, then 12 damage. Or Carl, yeah, he could roll 1 to hit or wound. So I think he'll survive. Yeah.
Yep, and with the -1 to wound aura, I don't think we saw the. Carl did not. I do not believe use Finest Hour here with Kragnos, so he will be suffering from that -1.
Yeah, so he's definitely not taking him down. No.
Here, yeah, Carl's opted for all-out defense, so not saving him for all-out attack.
Oh, these are the 4 anointed, probably 2s and 3s. It's like 3 -1.
Looks like he's starting off with the Phoenix into Kragnos.
Yeah. He's good. Yeah, this is the tough part because now this will be 3s to wound, all of them. 7 -1.
Awesome. Big saves from Carl.
Yeah, yeah, he's not doing anything. Yeah. What did he do? I did probably did 2 damage.
2 damage. Yeah, 2 damage. So yeah, Kragnos is under 10, down to 9, 7 wounds on him now, almost at half health, and it's tough to chew through.
And now the Bolt Boys get to go for some poison here.
Yes, and obviously noteworthy, still doing the mortal wounds in combat. Carl gets a couple 6s. That can be big.
There has been a few times that a normal pot shaman or whatever it is called has done it to himself and done like 9 wounds to me, and I was like, "Sorry, excuse me."
Yeah, you've shout out to Matt. He's been on the channel a couple times. Brought his Kruleboyz down, and in a game against the Idealist Deacon, I think his shaman dealt 12 damage in one combat. Literally rolled all 6s and then max damage on D3s and stuff. Like it was pretty nuts. Or all the attacks went through one way or another, so it can be pretty nasty.
Is this must be the Phoenix Guard hitting them back now?
Yep. The Bolt Boys dealt no damage at all, so no 6s in combat there.
I don't know. Do they get the poison combat? I don't know if the Bolt Boys do.
Yes. Yep. It's on their attacks.
It's just any attack, eh?
The Phoenix Guard did kill 5 of the Bolt Boys, though. Wow, so that was after losing half of their unit, they did kill 5 out of 6 of the Bolt Boys. So obviously hugely hampering. That is a third of Carl's shooting output. But still has 12 Bolt Boys on the board, 13 total, but 12 that are free to shoot at whatever they want.
Yeah, their Phoenix Guard are still so solid. They're expensive, but you know what I mean? Like they're still like 2s and 3s. If the Phoenix is close, I think his command ability gives him reroll 1s to wound, right?
Yep.
And it's like they can still do quite a bit of damage, and they're so resilient. They're such a good unit.
Looks like the Hobgrots are piling in, try and kill some Phoenix Guard. Carl loves throwing those trash grenades. He loves loves doing that, but I think you can't expect too much from the Hobgrots in combat here.
No, they're not going to do anything here, I don't think.
Yep, and Carl did confirm that it is in combat as well for the mortal wounds, with something like the Sludge Raker allowing 6s to do, so they gain that benefit as well, where he gives the +1 damage aura for the mortal wounds, so for damage, so 6s would be 2 mortal wounds if you have a Sludge Raker in combat from the Bolt Boys, which...
even 1. He must just not have rolled any 6s.
Yep.
Or I guess he could have rated 4-up wards.
That's true, too. Way. Here, Hobgrots, as you said, deal 0 damage. So,
good guess.
I think we're just waiting. Next combat is going to be Kragnos going into the Frostheart Phoenix. And looks like he just dealt 7 damage to it. So that's a good chunk of damage on the Phoenix already.
Mm-hmm.
But still alive, still kicking. Tying Kragnos up for now, keeping the Dark Shard safe. Matt's turn is wrapping up. Looks like, so he scores his battle tactic for 2 points, and that's it. Again, that top right objective has been burned, so no scoring from that. We did see both the single Bolt Boy and those Phoenix Guard both use Inspiring Presence. And they'll be sticking around, but man, 30 wounds, well, less now with a couple wounds on him, but planning for a ton of bodies, Kragnos, on that center objective. It'd be real hard to shift.
Yeah, I don't even think you need to, you could even just retreat Kragnos here, but I don't even think you need to do that.
Yeah. I mean, he put 7 damage on the Phoenix. Has a good shot.
Something there.
Yeah, looks like Kragnos got Heroic Leadership, so that's a CP for Kragnos.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
The Phoenix failed Heroic Leadership as well. The Shaman on the left did poison the 9 Bolt Boys. Well, the other Shaman, as we just talked about, used the poison on himself rather than that single Bolt Boy. He might have been out of range, actually. I think it is quite a short range to use the poison, so...
He must be going in.
Yeah, throwing in that Shaman. But here, in the bottom of round 3, so Carl's turn with Kruleboyz, and he's still up 4 points. So this does not look good for the Cities of Sigmar.
Yeah, Adam asks, what would you guys do if you were Matt here? I would pray to any god that I had and hope that I win priority, and if not, probably shake Carlson.
Yeah, I think with the position Matt's in, he's gotta get pretty lucky, with dice and fate going his way. Maybe having the Phoenix survive this round, so he can try Vitriolic Spray to kill Kragnos or something .
He's still only got 2 turns, and he's not. I guess that Phoenix can get over there. So.
Yeah, if that Phoenix lives, but I think looking at this game so far, I think some of the big milestones, or the keys where maybe there would have been other strategies to look at is, one, actually not anything he could have done about it, but with Carl winning the roll off to drop first, allowing him to give Matt first turn was really big. But I think Matt being as defensive as he was in deployment actually is what really has hurt him on the scoreboard, at least. And I know that Phoenix, he really didn't put anything in a position to threaten that bottom left objective at all.
No.
And maybe having that Phoenix in deployment a little more central, so he could threaten all the objectives with it, and
even
get those
an
Phoenix start up turn 1.
It's got to be measured and to be 22 to touch the tip of that point, but it's tough because in this one I often do also what Matt does here and go top right middle if you're on the bottom right.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but I guess it depends on where you see your opponent deploy. But
well, those are the closest two, right? So
yeah,
those 9 Bolt Boys right, above that left objective are not enticing to go there, especially when they're covered in mud.
Yeah.
So there is that, but yeah, I think
you
just
almost got to risk it though, right?
Yeah.
And then if you're already uphill, you got to make a couple risky plays here.
Or that's where having a cheap fast unit to just go snag an objective for a turn or 2 is huge. Because if Matt had something like that,
even just a unit of Shadow Warriors,
exactly.
I think I know he likes the Shadow Warriors.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Maybe this is one of the tougher battle plans for him. Just because First Blood is one of those ones that objectives are pretty far away through deployment.
Yeah, I think this matchup was a tough one too, obviously. Vitriolic Spray would be amazing against Kragnos if he could get it through, but he has not yet.
Yeah, but you can still, on average, he's going to unbind it. But if he doesn't unbind it, then...
That's his best hope, and I don't think it's a great one, like saying.
No.
But yeah, having no threat, if he did, like you say, even Shadow Warriors, something to tag that left objective, even this round, Carl doesn't have, to go into that, he's got to pull the Bolt Boys off the objective or retreat Kragnos back, which Kragnos needs to stay there in the middle to take that objective, so I think we're just seeing Matt with his big blocks of units in this list, suffering from not having the mobility or, any smaller units to kind of chuck around.
Yep. And is this the Bolt Boys all shooting the Phoenix here? Looks like he's taken...
Yep, so the single Bolt Boy killed 1 Phoenix. We just saw both the 9 and 3 Bolt Boys shoot at the Phoenix as well and put 6 damage through on him in total.
Total, yeah.
So that Phoenix is on its last legs, by the look of it. We did obviously he is Kragnos is in combat with him there. We did see Bring It Down as Karl's battle tactic this round, so pretty much, yeah, writing was on the wall that this was, what Karl was going for.
Yeah, if he doesn't spike his 4-up wards, he's definitely going to be taking the Phoenix down here.
Yeah, it looks like Karl is trying to pile in towards the Dart Shards and stay on the objective. Yeah, there.
Just barely touching it.
Yeah. I don't know, might be in range for some of the attacks, or he might just be trying to tag them. And looks like, Kragnos and the Phoenix roar at each other this round, so.
At least the Kragnos didn't charge the Phoenix and do 36 mortal wounds.
Yeah. All things that you can see happen in real time in our battle reports. We did see against you, Ridge, Zach with his Kragnos get that 6x6 on the charge.
We had a very interesting altercation happened after that.
I will say, don't want to spoil it if you haven't seen it, because that did not end as anyone would expect. I think when you think of those 36 mortal wounds coming out from Kragnos on the charge. But,
yeah.
Looks like Matt's rolling his saves for the Phoenix, and it's dead.
And see you later.
Yeah, so that was obviously Karl's Bring It Down target. Could have done Slay the Warlord as well. He had a few options there for battle tactics, that thing.
Yeah, this is going to be very difficult unless he absolutely spikes this Hurricanum.
Which is possible. Kragnos, noteworthy, Kragnos only has 9 wounds remaining on him.
Yeah, it also looks like Matt didn't dispel the portal again. Unless it's the Sorceress. I think it still looks like it's not within an inch of that portal.
No, it's not. The Sorceress looks like right at the bottom corner of the terrain piece.
So I don't look like that's not in vitriolic spray range.
Oh, I wonder, 9 inches. Is it 6 or 9 inches? Yeah, I think it's.
I don't know. Someone in the chat might know if it is. I thought it was even shorter.
Oh, really?
But 9 would make sense. That sounds right too.
It was either 9 or 6, but that could be big. Kragnos at basically half health here, so not out of the realm of possibility that Matt takes it down, but we will have a priority first. Looks like the Phoenix Guard just finished their attacks, putting 4 damage on the Shaman, so trying to take the Shaman out, who's all buffed up, but not quite doing it, leaving the Shaman with 2 remaining.
Yeah, Josh said, so it is 9.
Fine, so that's pretty good.
I don't know if that is 9 even right there.
It's tough. Close. It looks close. It does look close, yes.
Oh, no, Karl says 6. Are you guys just spelling 6, 9 out?
8. Who knows?
Karl's just being a wiener now.
Yeah. As per usual. That is the only reason we had to cut out the player audio and listen to me and Rich talk tonight, was just the profanity coming from Karl in this game is didn't feel appropriate to put that out to the public. But all good, all jokes, of course. We love Karl, despite leaving models on 1 wound. Can't entirely hold that against him.
But we can make fun of him for it forever.
Well, of course, especially with Cassidy. Whenever she makes fun of everyone or anyone, we all piggyback on her, hoping we're not the next target. Here, though, Karl's turn is over. We have seen priority already. Matt rolling another 5 to Karl's 4. So Matt has taken the turn in round 4. Karl, again, getting to choose and gain a CP from the vantage point. We've actually, both these armies have lost their general now, so that's going to leave a few less CP out there. And Karl scored 5 points again with his, or on his turn, with a bonus point for killing a monster.
Yeah.
Actually,
Kragnos is.
Yeah.
Kragnos is still a general though, right? So he's still gonna get that.
That is true. He would still get the extra CP from that.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, looks like Matt is actually using bonus CP from his subfaction ability with the illicit dealings to use
sacrifice.
Yep. Get the extra CP, and he has chosen here. It looks like he's choosing Bring It Down for his battle tactic this round. So Ragnos is the only monster on the table. So it looks like he's going to try and take down the big boy.
Yeah, at this point, you got to go do something.
Yeah,
if he can't take him down here, it's definitely over.
And the Dark Shard did cast Vitriol Spray, and again, it was unbound by the Shaman, so...
Oh, gross.
No chance at all. Sounds like Carl's had some big unbinds this this game. Coming in clutch. Again, Vitriol Spray, Kragnos does have the defense against spells, as we've talked about, but...
So he must have been in range then.
Yeah, must be.
Matt has been good at rolling 5s for priority, though, so...
This is true. That's three 5s in a row, so... something's been going his way, but that first roll to drop first was probably the one he wanted the most.
Yeah. Yeah, it's in this day and age, it's just so insane how being able to dictate turn order is just probably the strongest thing in the entire game.
Yep.
Like, it is the most important thing in the game. For multiple armies. There's certain armies that are okay if you go first, but still, just being able to control that pace and be on the bottom is, oh my gosh, it's so good.
That's all in AoS 2. That was me with Deepkin, right? All the time, being low drops, using like you said, being able to dictate the tempo of the game is huge. We did see
every army you play, Jordan, is low drop.
That's true. Right now, especially that's the problem with the core battalions or having the one drop core battalion. It's just like it's so good. I would love to see. Oh yeah, here we have the Hurricanum shooting.
Yeah. 2, 4, 6, 7. 7 mortal wounds. Looks like.
Yep, Carl does have a ward with Kragnos. Doesn't look like he saved any though.
Takes them all. Yeah. Nice.
So he's gonna be down to maybe 2 wounds, I believe.
4 wounds left.
4 wounds. Okay, yeah. So it looks like he did a heroic recovery this turn, and must have healed 2 back. Or sorry, yeah, healed 2 back to the start of the turn. Down to 4. Can the Dark Shards do it here? They also rallied, or sorry, not rallied, but...
That's a lot of shots, man. He could easily roll 4 ones.
Yeah, actually, with Carl tagging the Dark Shards, they could not rally, but the Life Swarm did bring 1 back earlier in the turn. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, that's tough. Looks like here, that's what we're doing. Dark Shards are using all-out attack. And we'll see, I
decided to go with the roll under the objective.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there. Yeah, so this is... If we see Kragnos go down here, does Matt have a play to get back in this game, do you think?
I don't think so. His Phoenix is gone. He can't get to the bottom left. I think it's GG pretty much when that Phoenix went down.
Yeah, I think just not having, a speedy threat, or... Matt, really, he only had 3 units. I guess he had the not the Dark Shards, but the other unit of Dark Elves down by the Sorceress that are just dying. But yeah, really, really feeling the pain of not having
some type of
objective taking unit. Yes.
Yeah. Oh, he goes down.
Yeah.
The Dark Shards do it.
Okay, so maybe just a source of pride for Matt in the Cities of Sigmar tonight. But Kragnos has gone down, so that's pretty big.
Yeah, it's a moral victory at least, but no, the just not being able to score 2 or more. So the rest of this game, he's 2 turns of just scoring 1. Yep. Yeah, there's no way he can mathematically come back here.
Yeah, I don't know.
Battle.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, there are obviously lots to consider, right? Battle tactics. If Matt can, stop Carl from getting a couple battle tactics and maybe deny his grand strategy. Obviously, big asks at this point. But yeah,
I don't think he can because they're covered in mud. Those boat boys, there's no way he can kill them. What does he have? Hold the line, or what does he?
Yep. Carl has hold the line. Let's pull up his list real quick.
Those boat boys, the nine there, he literally can't do anything.
Carl. Exactly, and it's the 963. I mean, they're all 3 units are still alive. The one is only 1 wound or 1 model left. And the Shaman we just saw go down actually. So yeah, no. With something like we've seen, obviously, talking about Cities of Sigmar and Carl running it with Iron Drakes. We've seen him use the the bridge and the spell very effectively, and that's something Matt sorely wishes he had right now, I feel. Just being able to teleport those dark shards, that would be huge.
Yeah.
Though he's still covered in mud, would not be able to shoot the bolt boys, so help for objective taking, but
yeah, that ability is so good. I haven't actually played Carl with the Kragnos and this list yet, and I kind of want to. I've played a couple times. I think I played Simi in one game when he had him, and it was so good in that too. Like I had a couple ways to get at him, but yeah, I mean the covered in mud is real good on those bolt boys.
But it really shows, like, Matt did take two endless spells here. Obviously, Life Swarm has been big. Spell Portal had its uses, but not being unbound after that first turn Matt cast it, it's had no benefit, right? Mm-hmm. And you think something like, if we had have seen a unit of, as you mentioned, Shadow Warriors and that bridge, how much different of a game this could be, right? Because Carl effectively, besides the first turn, hasn't had anything on that bottom left objective. And if Matt did have something, to threaten it or put body on there, even if it dies to the bolt boys have to move out of the cover to take the objective back.
Exactly. Anything, and that's one of the weaknesses of this, the covered in mud with the bolt boys. Once you take down the Mire Brute or those 20 Splittas, you can just especially when there's multiple objectives. I imagine Carl will agree that that's one of the tough things with his list.
And then seeing those, the bolt boys, as soon as they're out in the open and you have something like you can bridge the dark shards, close by to shoot them, that's huge.
Oh, yeah, that's why in the game now, it's like you always see all the best lists. They have some form of multi 1 damage attack. Yeah. So like for anything with low save, that you can just smash. And it's always so good to have a good mix of that plus some rending attacks with some mortal wounds. Then you're laughing.
Looks like we are done Matt's turn. He did score his battle tactic and killed a monster for 3 points total this round, putting him to 10. But with those Hobgrots standing strong, he does not take the center objective yet. And still down 17-10 with Carl's turn. Carl has chosen the battle tactic of take that, you suckers, which is a Kruleboyz battle tactic. Very interesting one, actually. It's one of the better ones from the unique sub-faction ones, where he has to deal 10 damage with his army this turn and not take 10 damage in return. And with units like the Bolt Boys that are just shooting, that's a pretty reliable one, I think.
Yeah, and he can just obviously retreat out those Slittas. He's going to hold that because just the Hurricanum's there. There might have been actually a play to cast Metamorphosis on that Hurricanum before you tossed him in there. And then he could have stomped them, and I don't know. I guess he would have counted as 5, so he still might not have been able to take the middle. But Hurricanum doesn't do much in combat, I don't think either.
So, no, it's just a couple potent attacks from the mounts, and the wizards on top flailing their staffs. So nothing too crazy.
Yeah.
Adam did ask what tweaks we would make to the Cities of Sigmar list. I think we talked about a couple of the big ones being, a unit to threaten objectives, whether it's, a fast mobile unit like Outriders or, any of those fast cheap units, or Shadow Warriors being a great shout as well. Just something to, threaten objectives. Keep Carl and, his list here a little more honest, where he tagged that objective round 1, and we just saw him run off it immediately, right?
Yeah, I think Shadow Warriors would be the answer. Just 10 of them. Even in turn 1, he doesn't need to drop them down. Keep them up. And then when he put that Mire Brute in, that would make him either keep that Mire Brute back there, or it would make the Mire Brute have to still go up, and then he can just take that objective easily.
Yeah. And I think in Anvilgard, Spell Portal does make sense to extend the range of Vitriolic Spray, which is such a huge part of the army. So I think that's fine. We did talk about Bridge, but I think Bridge could definitely be handy, no doubt. But I think
does he have any other ways? I guess he's getting +1 from the Hurricanum, and then plus from the killing with the Sorceress, so he can get +3. So Bridge.
The Hurricanum actually would not give the +1 because it's only the Sorceress wouldn't be Collegiate Arcane. I do not.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you are right. Yep. What? He's taking down the Hurricane here.
Yeah, it looks like
this GG.
Yeah, it looks like the 9 Bolt Boys did 6 damage to the Hurricane. The 3 Bolt Boys dealt 4 and just finished it off. I think though, we're talking about like with the bridge, like having a little more mobility to get onto objectives, but really I think Matt was too defensive in his deployment, where he could have, the Phoenix Guard are meant to be tanky and survive a hit. He should have, I feel, or could have been more aggressive with them, putting them right in the corner of his deployment zone, just to be closer to those 2 objectives, right, and beyond them turn 1.
Do you think going top right and bottom left? Because Kragnos is going in the middle, but had he done the bottom left or tried to go that way, I think Karl could have easily pivoted to the bottom left.
Yeah,
he still wants Kragnos in the middle, I think.
That's where you almost want, and it's tough for Matt here in this list. Again, in this matchup, Matt has like big units that are centralized. He can't spread out as well, which is what Kragnos wants. He wants to get into the biggest pieces and smash them. But if you have, different, units, some small units spread out in power, you can tag both objectives, and Kragnos has to choose, right? And if you have the Dark Shards in behind, they can try and pivot away from one or the other to try and keep safe. But I think Matt here, it's not, and this isn't to say that there's an issue with Matt's list or anything. I just think for this matchup, Matt suffered not having more points, more units.
Yeah,
consolidated.
I think the best thing he could do for his list is not play this city.
Yeah. Yeah.
Play Living City or Tempest
Living
Eye.
City is super strong. Obviously, we've seen so much of that going around. It does sound like, so Karl and Matt are talking through the final round at the moment. Matt won priority again. And
was it a 5?
Yeah. So it was just talking. So it sounds like Matt chose the banners held high battle tactic to take objectives. Sorry, this is the Cities of Sigmar White Dwarf specific one, which is to have a banner in the center of an objective. And I think actually Matt would not have actually scored that, because I think it's 2 objectives you have to have a banner at the center of.
Why didn't he just take Conquer?
I'm not. He could have. Maybe that was just miscommunication, or didn't realize he needed to take 2 objectives. So easily could have got his battle tactic there. I think they were just talking about running those Dark Shards to that center. So definitely would have done.
Yeah.
And he ran the Sorceress away over to the right side there of the screen, keeping his grand strategy with high sorcery. So it looks like both of them scored the grand strategy. Karl scoring a couple more points with Kruleboyz on his turn, and we have a 28-16 final here for the Kruleboyz. So big win for Kragnos.
Yeah, that's a tough one, especially when he has that super sneaky and then also rolls all 3. He only needed 2 of the 4-ups, and once you see that, it's even. I guess he didn't even need the left ones really in mud. He just needed that top middle one really to be covered in mud.
Yeah. So.
But yeah, man, having that covered in mud, this is just a really good list against something that you don't have much rend. So if you're relying on any type of magic for your mortal wounds, Kragnos is ready to deal with that. That's the kind of problem. You need to have mortal wounds that are not magic to deal with that big beastie boy.
And I don't think Matt, unfortunate with this matchup, did not have the tools to deal with him here. I mean, he dealt with him, but not quickly enough, right?
Yeah, it's interesting now, because I wonder if he was able to get that Hurricanum in that earlier, that would have been another 3d3 mortals, right? If he would have rolled 3 2-ups. So
yeah, that one turn he was half an inch out or whatever. Would have been a turn earlier that Kragnos was dead. We will look quickly now at the results of the entire round. So all 4 games. Obviously here we had Karl with the big win. So there was a battle point system for determining the points scored from the round. So Ridge, you faced off against Yuri round 1 and did not have the best time in that one. Obviously, Sons of Behemat, super strong still.
Yeah, I think I said at the beginning. Yeah, I had a Gargant to do 1 wound. I had 2 sallies into him, and then my dragons I didn't need to charge, but I was scared my sallies weren't going to be able to finish the if I didn't roll any 6s. So I was scared of that. So I put the dragons in, took some damage on the hit back, and then lost 2 and 3 prio.
And that's rough with guardians.
Yeah, it was just one of those. And then I thought for some reason that this was just an elimination tournament. So sorry, Josh, again. I made plans for later. So I once he went turn through prio, I was just like, okay, it's over, cool, shook his hand, and then found out later that they still wanted to keep like a ranking and all that. And then I had to miss my game 3, which I'm sure you'll talk about when we get there on Thursday.
Yes. Well, you'll be there actually talking about it on Thursday. I will not be. You'll in the commentary that night. You'll be there. But talking through the rest of the games, I did play Levon, as we mentioned, and took the victory there round 1. So Stormcast over Soulblight Gravelords. Carl obviously gets the win against Matt and Cities of Sigmar. And the 4th game saw Mitch with his Megakin of Nurgle, the plus Royal Blightlord kind of spammy list, facing off against Nick with his Deepkin, and Mitch took the win. But no major, not max points. So we had 3 max point games. And that's it for round 1, guys. Hope you enjoyed this match. We'll take a look at the other ones, so stay tuned on Wednesday for round 2, the AoS Ontario Masters.
Yeah, thanks for sticking around, everybody.